Yeah, I got a topic set up. We live now, but what I always do is I start the class off and allow the brothers and sisters to ask questions. All right. So this shades help me with my vision for the nights. Shades on. And brother, I had 2 bottles of water. Did I give you both the bottles of water? Okay, thank you. All right, Shalom Israel, you're on live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War holding down the class here in Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. The purpose of these classes is to give brothers and sisters an opportunity to learn the truth so that they can become more of the men and the women that the Most High called us to be. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Since 1969, here in ISUPK, we've been teaching the truth. In order to give brothers and sisters of the lost 12 tribes of Israel an opportunity to come back to the true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of who they are, where they come from, and what their purpose is on the earth. And in 2021, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who they are. All right, so usually how we do it is Tuesday is Brotherhood class, Wednesday is biblical law, and Thursday is scripture breakdown, right? But for the past few weeks, what I've been doing is just going through breakdowns of different topics that are prevalent to the times that we're living in today. So tonight's class, it is a Brotherhood class, but the title is Pride Precedes Poverty. All right, Pride Precedes Poverty. And what we're going to talk about is places, these cities all across the country where our brothers and sisters are living and suffering and going through the trials and tribulations that come with disobeying the Most High. There's a pattern of behavior that we can see that is common amongst all of the different cultures that we've had established here in this place called America. She's too wild, brother. Don't even worry about it. She's good to go. Yeah, she's straight. That's not an issue at all. All right, so what I'd like to do is start the class off with questions. Any brothers and sisters have any questions? If you're in the classroom, all you do is raise your hand. You got any questions? You got a comment? You want to chime in? Just raise your hand. I'll point to you. You can go ahead with it. If you got any questions online, all you got to do is type them in. And let's get into it, all right? So we got a brother here in the class tonight. Brother, you said you had a couple questions, right?
I would let you go ahead and get rolling first way.
No, come on with the questions. The question, here's what I've learned over the years. Anytime brothers and sisters have questions, the answer is always something that can help another brother or sister. You understand? So you never know how something that may be on your spirit, something the Lord may be dealing with you on, could help unlock something that somebody else maybe needs to be touched on. You understand what I'm saying? So I definitely always encourage brothers and sisters to ask questions. That's why you're here. You're here because you want to learn. You're here because there's things that's in that Bible that you want to understand, or things that's going on in your life that you need the answers to. That's the most pressing issue. So let's go ahead and deal with that. Any questions you got, come on with it.
Okay. Well, it's so far off topic, like.
Don't think about that. Don't think that you're off topic. Understand this. I can teach this topic anytime, but I have right now to address your questions. So come on with it.
Okay. I got a question on fornication.
Okay.
All right. I know it's a sin, but how would you?
Well, first,
you're trying to break it. Like, so you realize you struggle with this.
Come.
You're trying to break it.
Come.
And you know, sometimes you go a couple of weeks or even a couple of months, and then you find yourself, you slid right back into what you was trying to get out of. What are some steps?
Okay, so we clear the brother's questions about fornication, right? Well, first and foremost, let's understand that when it comes to the biblical context, there's two types of fornication, right? But both of them have a shared source. But there's spiritual fornication, which is worshiping other gods, having idols, putting things before the Most High. And then there's the physical fornication. Category is where you get your pornography, is where you get the prostitution, is where you get those types of physical manifestations of fornication, right? Now, I believe we're dealing with the physical type. We're dealing with the pornography. We're dealing with are we dealing with other women, or is it just the visual stimulation that you're talking about?
I just other women, man. You see somebody you like, and you just, tell yourself, man, I'm doing that wrong.
I got you. So here's the first thing that you have to understand in order to be able to break yourself from the demon. But first, you got to understand that it is a demon, right? There is a such thing as lawful attraction, and then there's a such thing as an unlawful attraction. You understand? Now, the Most High created us as men. What is one of the Most High's first commands? Be fruitful and multiply, right? Go forth, and that's it. It's lawful. It's righteous for a man to desire a woman who doesn't have a man. It's righteous and it's lawful to desire a woman who desires to be your woman. But if there's a woman who you know has a man, there's a woman who you know has no intentions of being with you, and you still desire her, now it's lust. Now it's an unlawful desire. It's an unlawful attraction. And there's something inside of all of us that causes us to desire things that are unlawful. You understand? For some brothers, it's a woman. Some brothers, it's weed smoke. For another brother, it could be pork, be shrimp. You understand? It could be, there's things that's unlawful that we know we should not have. That desire, that thing inside of us that still wants it, that's what you have to fight. That is a demon. You understand? So the first thing you have to understand is that there's something in you that you have to go to war with. Why do you have to go to war with it? Because it is going to war with you. You understand? So the first scripture you want to go to is Exodus chapter 3, verse 15. All right? Exodus chapter 3, verse 15. And understand this battle, this overcoming this thing, it starts with your mindset. It starts in your head. You understand?
Chapter 3.
Exodus chapter 3, Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. I'm going to have you read it, all right?
The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name.
The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Now, of course, when we read the Lord, right, we know that that's where the Most High's name is written in Hebrew. All right? The Most High's name is Yahweh. All right? We have Hebrew class that we teach here in ISUPK. I'm going to get it started here. I'm going to get it rolling here in Memphis. But we're going to go through the Hebrew. We'll start to get into the original source language of these scriptures, and we'll be able to break down the name of the Most High and break down a lot of these words that we have in English, like grace and salvation. You know what I mean? The meanings have been skewed a little bit because of the context that we've been given in Christianity, right? We like to go to the source and really get an understanding of what these words are and the impact that they had in the original language, right? Yahweh is the Most High's name. Yahweh is a man of war. The God that we serve, the Creator, the Almighty that made us and gave us breath and gave us life and gave us rules and laws and instructions, he's a man of war. What do we call a man of war who's in charge of all the other men of war?
General.
The Most High is the general. You understand? And what are we? We his children. We are his soldiers. So if the Most High is a general, then what does that make us? If he's a man of war, if he's a soldier who controls and dictates to other soldiers, then what are we? We're his soldiers. So guess what? If he's a man of war, what do you have to be? Got to be a man of war. And the Most High has given us laws, given us rules. He's created a place where we know what we're supposed to do, but yet there's an adversary that we have to fight. Yet there's something inside of us that tears against us to disobey him. Why? Because he wants you to fight. He wants you to see that he made you to be a soldier. So these things that you know are unlawful, these things you know you ain't supposed to do, guess what, brother? You're going to have to fight them. Or else they'll just keep conquering you. They'll just keep overcoming you. Every 6 months, here I am back again. Every time I turn around, things going good in my life, then here comes some big booty and a smile. Here comes something I know I should not have nothing to do with. Why these? Every time I start to get it together, they just appear. Because the Most High wants you to fight.
I mean, come on with it. It ain't always need so them. Sometimes I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I ain't gonna shoot a shot no more. Chill out. But then, like you said,
that's the I understand that is your test. That is your battle. Understand what you battling against. We're gonna get to some more scriptures. First and foremost, the Most High is a man of war. You understand? Yahweh is his name. He made us. He's a general. He made us to be soldiers. So don't be shocked when you find yourself in a battle. Don't be surprised when you wake up every day and it's a war. There's a battle to be fought. That's the nature of this life. Here in the UPK, we say life is war. Everything is war. You're going to war at your slavery. You're going to war with your woman. You're going to war trying to raise your children in this evil society with all the evil that's coming out of the TV and the radio and on the cartoons that's in there right now. You're going to have to go to war with everything, brother. If you can understand that that's the nature of this, that the creator we serve made it that way, then guess what? I got to lace my boots up every day. I got to wake up every day and just be ready to go to battle. You can now train yourself mentally that that's what this is. It's a battle. It's a fight. Every time something comes up, you just remind yourself, this is warfare. You understand? So you can get yourself mentally into that space. Now everything else can begin to make sense. All right. So let's go ahead and go. Let me see. The next scripture we're gonna get into is let's get 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Let's get 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 6, right? And these are the words of Paul. And we know Paul is a brother who's famous historically for his zeal to serve the Lord, right? Paul was given the mission to go out and to teach the Gentiles, right? And that's a topic that is heavily debated among biblical scholars. But here, of course, in ISUPK, we understand the truth. We'll get to discussing Paul at length, right? But let's right now just acknowledge that Paul was a brother who had a very important mission, and he went out and he accomplished the work that the Most High set before him. And the evidence of that is these letters that we have left over from his writings, right? So in this writing to the school in Corinth, Paul is discussing his personal struggle, something that he's going through. Now, we often tend to look at men who are of a high stature, and we say, oh, man, they got it made, man. That's a great brother. That's an amazing brother. Well, Paul is going to reveal that these brothers who you may view as amazing, these brothers who you may view as powerful, that they have a burden and a responsibility that is far greater than what you could imagine. While Paul was going out building these schools and raising up brothers and sisters and writing these letters to get everybody in order, there was something that he was struggling with. Let's go ahead and read about it. All right. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 6. I'll read it. All right. And I'm going to try to go slow because sometimes context can be lost when we're reading this. And most important thing about these classes is that we get full understanding of what we read. We don't want to skim through anything. We don't want to pass over any words we don't understand. We come to a word, we don't understand it. We get the dictionary out. We look it up so we can understand fully what it is we read. All right. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 6. It says, for though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool. What is he saying? I would desire to glory. I mean, I would desire to get to shine. Every man would desire to be, to be seen in a positive light, right? Paul said, I would desire to glory, but I'm not a fool. She all right, brother. She good. She tuning in. Let her go. She good to go. All right. He says, for I will say the truth, but now I forbear. Meaning I would say the truth, but let me hold back a little bit. Forbear is like be cautious, right? He says, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me. He said, I will say the truth, but I forbear. I would tell you everything, but I'm going to hold back because I don't want any brother to think that I'm greater than them. I don't want any brother to think that I'm above suffering the things that he suffers. So as I sit here in this seat, as a brother who served the Lord and been in the truth for some time, I want you to understand, I know your struggle about fornication, brother. I know how hard it is to resist the things that's out here for a man to have. You understand? But this is what Paul wants us to understand. He's just like us, right? Verse 7. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. Paul is saying, now, just so I won't be lifted up because of how well I teach, just so I won't be full of pride because of how I can break down these scriptures and win brothers into the truth, the Lord gave me a demon in my in my side to buffet me. So there was something that Paul was given that he had to fight that kept him in check, that made him remain humble, that made sure he never forget where he came from. Now, we don't know what this thing is that Paul struggled with, right? But whatever it was, it kept him from getting a big head. It kept him from ever thinking that he was something special. It kept him from ever seeking glory or looking at himself like he was more than the brothers and the sisters that he was responsible to teach and to help raise up. This thing made Paul remain humble. Let's keep going. It says, verse 8, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice that it would depart from me. What does that mean? He prayed to the Lord, please, Lord, take this thing from me. Please, Lord, deliver me from this temptation. I don't want to fight this anymore. Lord, why do I have this desire? Why do I? I'll take another. He prayed for the Lord to free him from this thing. He wanted any struggle but this struggle. Any fight but this fight. Give me something else. Whatever else you got, I can handle it. He prayed 3 times to the Lord. Let's see what the Lord said. Verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Now, these words are written in red. Which means these are the words of the Lord. These are the words of Christ, right? Paul prayed, and the answer he received was, nah, you're going to fight that. I'm not letting up off of that, Paul. You're going to have to go through this thing, and you're going to have to prove yourself, and you're going to have to fight. My grace is sufficient. What's grace? Do you know?
Unwarranted favor.
The brother said unwarranted favor. That's a very good answer, but that's a very Christian answer, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Grace is simpler than that. Grace is what MLGW gives you when you late on your bill. Grace period, just time. Time to do what? To make it right. I'm late on my gas bill. I'm late on my electric. They say, no problem, Mr. Thompson. No problem, Mr. Soccer War. We'll give you another week. It's 7 days to do what? To make this balance right. In the 7 days, if I make the balance right, guess what? Power stays on. 7 days, if I don't make the balance right, lights off. That's grace with the Most High. Grace is time for us to get it right. Grace is time the Lord allows a man to go through his trials and tribulations, go through his struggles, make his mistakes, until the Lord says, now you got to get it right, or else lights out.
I guess I'm just tired of feeling like a hypocrite, man. You know,
that is the Lord. That's the Lord. There. So we talked about that. So we fully understand that Paul had something he had to fight against. Paul had a struggle, a demon, something that kept him in check, right? He prayed the Lord to please free me from this thing. No, I'm not freeing it. I'm not freeing you from it. You're gonna fight it because that's you, soldier, and I made you to be a soldier. So fight what I gave you to fight. Because in your weakness, I am made strong. There's some things in life that you have to just turn to the Lord about. Some things in life, no matter how strong you are, you're gonna be on your knees, begging, crying. Please, Lord, give me the strength. Please, Lord, get me through this thing. Then there's other things where you're just gonna be Superman. You're gonna be super brother. You A1 on it. Ain't no problem, ain't no threat. You're gonna help other brothers get through it, help other people, you know what I'm saying, overcome it. But then there's that thing that you're gonna need to call and get counsel about. There's that thing you're gonna have to call and say, sir, I'm struggling. I'm about to do it right now. And I know what comes after this. And somebody gonna have to talk you down and say, well, brother, listen here, this is what you got to do. You got to fight. You understand? The fact that you picked up the phone this time and called before you did it, that shows some growth. That shows some maturity. That shows that you fighting. You understand? The same way there's that thing in there that's tempting you. The Most High gave you a spirit to want to fight it. The Most High gave you a spirit to want to overcome it. You are becoming aware that you're becoming aware of the battle. You're becoming aware of the fight. When you get to a point where you're tired of something, that's your spirit saying, all right, man, I'm tired of being Satan's hoe. I'm tired of letting Satan just control me and rule over me. And that's what's been going on in your life. There's something that got control over you and you tired of it. Well, this is how you fight. This is how you learn to get over it. But it starts with you understanding that there's a battle and then understanding what it is you're battling against. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
All right. So let me finish here what Paul is saying in 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 12:9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Paul said, now he glories in this fight, so that the power of Christ will rest on him. If it wasn't for this thing that he was fighting, if it wasn't for this agent of Satan in his side to buffet him, what would keep Paul grounded? What would keep Paul really praising the Most High and putting the Most High first? These things that we struggle against, while we gotta fight them, they are the same thing that make us appreciate the Lord all the more. You understand? All right, so let me get a couple more scriptures, and then we can talk more directly about what you got to do to deal with it, and what every brother or sister has to do to deal with their demons. Everybody understands? All right, so let me get right. Let's get 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. There was another scripture that I wanted to get though. Go on the side. These. Right here. So many scriptures we could go to, but we're gonna go here to 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12. All right. All right, 1 Peter 4 and 12. You can read this one, brother.
Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is trying you, as though some strange thing happened unto you.
It said, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you. Right? And there's a couple things that's been established. There's a fiery trial that's coming, and it's going to try you. It don't say, beloved, it maybe a fiery trial will come maybe there'll be some difficult times. He's saying, don't think it's strange, brother, when it happens to you. Don't think it's strange when it's your turn. Don't think it's strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you. This ain't just a regular trial. This ain't just some run-of-the-mill thing you got to overcome. This is a fiery trial, brother. This is, fire and brimstone. This is, you watch the game, you watch the show Game of Thrones. This is the mother of dragons and the army of the dead, the undead. That's what you're gonna be battling against. That's what you're gonna be facing. And guess what? Don't think it's strange. Don't look around and say, "Why me? Oh my God!" No, don't do that, brother. This is warfare. You want to be a son of the Most High. You want to be a prince. You want to receive a reward from your father. But guess what? You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to battle. So don't think it's strange when it's your turn. You understand? Keep reading.
But rejoice, inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's suffering.
But rejoice, inasmuch as you are partakers of Christ's sufferings. When your trial comes, you should say what? Now I get to be like Christ. Because what was the greatness that Christ did? Why is this man so world renowned and famous and a pillar of our faith all these thousands of years later? Why is this man such an amazing figure in all of mankind history? Why is Jesus Christ, Yahushua Mashiach in the Hebrew, why is he somebody who everybody looks at as being so amazing?
He conquered all sin.
Oh, yes, he did. But what was it like for him? Was he saying to himself, I'm going to conquer all sin. I'm going to defeat sin. I'm sent from God to conquer sin. What was going through Christ's mind as he was conquering all sin?
He's going to do his Father's will.
Okay, yes, that as well. But
it was written.
How did okay, you're right. But how was it for him going through it? Was he saying, I'm gonna do what's written? No, but as he's going through the horrible things that we know this brother went through, do you think in his mind was, this is what was written? I'm just doing what was written. No, that's not what was on his mind.
He suffered too.
He suffered too. So what was on his mind as he was going through these things? Okay, yes, but that's not how, okay, yes, but how did, okay, as what pushed him to get through it? What had him to overcome? What was his mindset as he's going through these things?
Not my will, but not.
Yes, not his will, but the Father's. But what does that mean, though? What mindset do you have to say, not my will, the Father's? It's not what I want, what the Father wants. It's not about me, it's about the Father. Look at the page. Look at what we're reading. The answer's right there. A lot of times in class, anytime I'm asking questions, the answer's right in front of you. What was the mindset that Christ had? Let's go read verse 12 again.
Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened unto you. But rejoice. Inasmuch as ye are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy.
Now, when your trial comes, what should you think to yourself? You should rejoice that you are a partaker in Christ's suffering. You should say to yourself, this is what you should do. You should say to yourself, I get to prove myself. This is my battle. This is my fight. This is my fiery trial. Now I get to go through it. Now I get to endure. Now I get to suck it up. Now I get to conquer sin. What was in Christ's mind? This is my trial. And I'm going to show the Father that I can do it. I'm going to show him that I'm a good son. I'm going to show him that I can conquer anything that he put before me. That come now, you got it. Come on, sis. That's what was in the mind of Christ. That's what got to be in your mind. You got to know that you're a soldier. You got to know that you're a warrior. You got to approach difficulty, temptation, trials, and tribulations, not like, oh my God, Jesus, help me. Oh Lord, please help me. You got to, man, Father, give me the strength. This is what you prepared for me, but then I'm not my will, your will. The only reason why you bringing this to me is because you know I can beat it. Only reason why you having me to endure this is because you know that I can endure it. You understand? She good. She perfectly fine, brother. You know what I'm saying? She's not disrupting anything at all. That was what was on Christ's mind. Christ's mind was, it wasn't, as he's saying, not my will, the Father's will, he's thinking, if this what you put before me, then I'm going to do it. Before Christ went and prayed and said, if it be your will, take this cup from before me. Let this cup pass. But if it's your will, then I'll drink it. That's the mindset of a soldier. That's the mindset of a man that's determined, whatever orders you've given me, I'm going to follow through. Well, the Bible is a book of orders, brother. The Bible is a book of rules, a book of what you must do. And guess what? Everything that comes your way is to see if you're a good soldier or not. Here's what you got to understand. Let me get the next scripture. Here's what you got to understand. This 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. And we'll come back to 1 Peter 4 and 12. But let's go to 1 John 4 and 4. Here's what we have to understand about this battle. What we have to understand about this war. What we have to understand about these fiery trials that the Most High said is sure to try us. Shalom, says Lord Christ. No sweat. No sweat. All right. 1 John 4 and 4. You got it.
Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them. Because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
Ye are of God, little children. Who are we speaking to? We speaking to me and you, brothers and sisters who are the children of the Most High, right? These little soldiers. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them. Who is the them? People in the world. People who don't want to serve the Most High. People who don't want to be righteous. Don't want to be honorable, right? Because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. The Most High is greater in you than anything that you come up against. The reason why you have to come up against those things is the Most High is trying to get you to prove it to yourself. He knows how he made you. He knows the ability he's given you, which is why he allows Satan to try you with the things he tries you with. Because the Most High knows that you can defeat Satan. We look at Satan as a tough guy, big bad guy, all throughout the history of mankind. You read about him in the Bible, he conquers everybody. Toppled Adam and Eve in the garden, came against Solomon with all of the finest fine women, and got Solomon to build temples to all these whores. You understand? He came against everybody. But our king defeated him. How? Because our king realized that I'm down for the Lord, Satan. Nothing you can do to knock me off of that. I'm dedicated to being a soldier. I'm going to go through whatever the general has seen fit for me to go through. And that is how Satan was defeated, because Christ had to realize, no, the Most High is stronger in me than you. I'm more of a soldier for the Lord than you are, Satan. The Lord made you to be more of a soldier than Satan. but he has to bring it out of you. How does the Lord bring it out of you? He sends Satan against you. As soon as you start to get right, you on the path, Satan say, Lord, look, you think he's doing something? Let me send a hoe to him. Bet you I'll break him. Bet you I have him crying to you, praying and asking for forgiveness like I did a million times. And the Lord say, no, Satan, not this time, man. He on his game. He getting it right. He doing his thing. Satan say, go ahead, let me get up. Go ahead, Satan. Here she comes. Sweet and nice and talking all good. And here you go, getting broken down. Then you inevitably lose that battle, and you right back where you was, and Satan go right to the Lord and say, see, I told you, get a married time. He buckled, man. All I got to do is she smile and, rub his little bald head, and he in the game. I'm just that's just for you, brother. But hey, for me, it's something. For me, it's listen. She grabbed the bed. It's oh my God. It's whatever it is. Satan know what your thing is, and you're gonna have to deal. You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to get strength. You understand? And have to be able to overcome that thing. But that is the nature of what it is that we battle. That is why you experience everything you know that you've experienced. You have experienced it, and I'm just showing it to you in the Bible that is the nature of life. That's the way the Most High made it to be. But to be at a place where you no longer want to fall victim to it, you no longer want to be weak to it, that is your spirit desiring to be stronger. There's that thing in you the Lord gave you to conquer Satan. It's starting to wake up. And here's the place where you give it strength. Here's the place where you feed it. Here's the place where brotherhood allow us to, you no longer have to be a brother by yourself fighting this thing. You now can pick up the phone, get some counsel. You can say, sir, I'm going through this. And I say, brother, I've been there before. This is what you got to do. Brother, this is how we're going to fight this thing. Brother, this is what you got to remember. This is what you got to recognize. This is what you got to acknowledge. And give you some tools to help you be able to fight through it and get through it. Because here's what we know about lust. Here's what we know about temptation. Here's what we know about fornication. All of it is temporary satisfaction. It's a very fleeting passion. It's you burning up. Then soon as you release, it's, oh my God, what have I done? Oh my Jesus, Lord, please forgive me. Why did I do that? And now you're back in that place. Well, counsel, brotherhood, the truth will get you the strength to say, I'm not going to be in that place that I'm all too familiar with. I'm not going down that road again. Say, I've been there before. I know what the end result of this is. I know it appears to be one way, but in reality, this is just a trick. This is just a game. This is just somebody selling me a dream. And you know what? I'm better than that. I'm not buying anymore. I'm not doing this to myself again. And that's how you fight. That's how you overcome. That's how you conquer the thing that's been conquering you. You understand, right? All right, I'm going to give you one more scripture because I think it's necessary on this topic particularly. All right. There we go. Because understand, brother, that this battle that we're talking about, where is the battle for your soul waged? Where is the war of righteousness and wickedness fought? Thank you. Give the brother a hand. You understand? It's fought in your mind. Before any action, there's a thought. That is where Satan dwells. Your thoughts is Satan's playground. You convincing yourself, man, it's going to be all right. Maybe it's different this time. She's saying like she ain't like the rest of them. That's Satan. You understand? You know better. You know what's up. But Satan is in your mind convincing you that it's something that is not, that this is somehow different. And that is what you're fighting against. You understand? She all right, y'all. She let her pop the thing. She good. Trust me. I know it as a father, it's heating you up, but trust me, she's just being a kid. She let her do her thing. You understand? But that's what, if you can understand that this is all mental, it's all mind over matter. You just got to get your mind in the game. You just got to get yourself tuned into the mindset of what the Lord needs for you to be. You recognize here's what recognizing you're a soldier will do. Everything else will be a challenge to your masculinity. It'll be a challenge to your manhood. And I like to think about growing up, them British soldiers over there, they guard the Queen's house, right? They world famous for their discipline. They stand there with them that red jacket and that big black hat. You can go up to them, you can fart and, you know, make jokes and do goofy stuff, and they'll just stand there the whole time, right? Because they train, they discipline. It's an insult to them for someone to think that they can get them to break their concentration. Well, if you're a soldier and you think of temptation as somebody trying to break I'm not about to laugh at you, goofy tourist. You out here dancing and singing in front of me, thinking you ain't gonna get no reaction out of me. If you recognize that sin and temptation is really somebody trying to dishonor your service, dishonor your dedication to being a soldier, then you'll be insulted when temptation presents itself. You'll be, when a hoe come to you, you'll be like, man, hoe? You know who I am, bitch. You know what I do, how I live my life? Nah, hoe. You can't get none of this. You'll start to realize that you the prize. So see, in this society has trained a lot of us men. Oh man, I came up, man. You see, Sean, this, that. You feeling like you maybe got something good. Man, the truth will have you like, you can't even sniff me, girl. No. I only deal with honorable women. Deal with righteous women. Now your conversation with women will be different. They come talk to you, say, yeah, you know, I believe a man can have more than one wife. That'll scare 99% of them away. Especially here in Memphis, brother. You tell a woman, yeah, I believe a man have as many women as the Lord see fit. And my woman better not ever think about another nigga. 99% of the women who you think down for you, they gonna flee right then and there. You scare away 99% of the hoes by just standing in the truth. Like you deal with me, shawty. You got listen, man. You got to prove yourself. You understand? I ain't a woman that's gonna obey. Listen, you gotta talk to these women out here. You had conversations with them. Women love to ask you, "What's your love language?" I don't know where that came from, but there's a love language thing, and women give you all kind of wonderful answers, gifts and service, and I like to be treated like a lady, and I like affection. They ask me, "What's my love language?" Obedience. Oh my God, what is it? Yeah, I want a woman that's gonna obey. I want a woman that's agreeable. I say I want a sandwich. She say, yeah, baby, you deserve a sandwich. I say, you know, baby, you should not get your nails done this week and give me that money so I can take care of some business. And she said, you know what, Daddy, I'm not gonna get my nails done. I'm gonna give you this money so you can take it. Tell a woman that's what you like. And you'll find out that 99% of them ain't down for nothing you down with. You'll realize that you the prize, you the catch. When you live honorably and live righteously, you'll realize these men out here ain't got nothing to offer women but some wet draws. Well, guess what? I can do that and everything else the Lord said a man's supposed to do. So I'm not settling for if all you can do for me is, a release. I can get that anywhere, woman. I don't need you for that. Now your mind because your mindset is different. Now you can deal honorably with them. It ain't a game no more. Woman got to actually be about something if she gonna get to have a caliber of a man like me in her life. But in the world, we running around just, you see how that, we just feeling good that somebody looked at us. Damn that, man. You understand? And then you change your mindset, the whole landscape changes. Change your mindset, now you'll recognize the trick of Satan when it presents itself. You won't convince yourself any longer that maybe this one's different. Maybe this one. Maybe no. You know she ain't the one. Yes, come on, man. Stop playing yourself. We do that to ourselves all too often. It's because of the way that we were trained in this society and the lack of understanding that the Most High made us to be soldiers. You understand? I do. So going forward, the way that's how you fight it. You got to matter of fact, let's get the scripture that says it, all right? Well, let's get this one, Romans 8:6. And I want you to understand, brother, you asked that question, right? You don't know how many people you're helping right now. By all the scriptures we're covering and this ground that we're covering, there's brothers and sisters, all of us are struggling with something. All of us got that thorn in our side, that thing that we fighting against, and it's always healthy to get a reminder of what it is we dealing with and why it is we are tempted by the things we're tempted by. You understand, right? Romans 8:6. Romans 8:6. All right.
For to be carnally minded is death.
Let's stop right there. For to be carnally minded is death. What does it mean to be carnally minded? To be led by your flesh. That's what it is to be carnally minded. To think only based on what you want and what you feel. That's what it means to be carnally minded. If you live your life based off of what you want and what you feel, well, then you'll live the life that has us suffering here in Memphis, Tennessee. You'll live a life that's full of drug addiction. You'll live a life that's full of, dysfunctional relationships. You'll live a life that's, full of, it's all good. That's the wall right there. You'll live a life that's full of the struggles that we all go through. You understand? That's what it means to be carnally minded. If you're carnally minded, that leads to death. You understand? Keep reading. No, sorry, Romans 8:6.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Understand what the Lord is saying. To be carnally minded is death. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. That last part is very, very important. To be spiritually minded is peace. And that is something that brothers and sisters in the world desperately are searching for. You want to know why somebody puts a blunt to their mouth every day, 5 times a day? Because they're searching for peace. You want to know why somebody pick up a bottle and they drink until they no longer themselves? Because they're searching for peace. You want to know why these young boys are out here in these streets stealing cars and they robbing and they shooting for respect? Because they're desperately searching for peace. They want to not have to worry. But there's only one way that you can have peace, and it is to be spiritually minded. It's to serve the Lord. Everything else leads to death. You understand? We have to realize that peace is precious. Peace is worth going to war for. If you want peace in your life, you got to fight for it. Peace don't just come to you. Peace ain't a given. Peace is something that you have to earn. And wars have to be fought so that there can be times of peace. And for all of us in our lives, there's a war that needs to be fought. So how do you get that peace that you desire? You got to be spiritually minded. Your mind, you cannot live based off of what you want and what you feel, but you have to live based off of what the Lord said, based off of what are my orders. That's what this is about. Everybody understands? Let's keep reading. Verse 7.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against God. Now, we talk about words that we don't know, right? Do you know what this word? No problem, brother. No problem. It's the first door on the left past the kitchen, all right? All right. We're going to go ahead and get the dictionary definition. Let's get the definition of the word enmity, all right? All right. Dictionary definition of the word enmity. All right. Come on, what it says.
What says positive, active, and typically mutually hatred or ill will.
Yes. Now understand this. Enmity is positive, active, and typically mutual hatred or ill will. You understand? So what does this mean about enmity? Enmity isn't a feeling. Enmity isn't just a thought. Enmity is action. Enmity is an ongoing battle. You understand? Positive, active, and typically mutual hatred. When you have hatred that is positive and active, that means it's gaining ground. It's growing. It's increasing. That's what enmity is. You understand? So when it says the carnal mind is enmity against God, the carnal mind isn't just thinking what you're thinking and feeling what you're feeling, but the carnal mind is actively fighting and going to war against what is righteous. Actively fighting and going to war against what you should and what you're supposed to do. Come on with it.
So how do you fight the thoughts to begin with? You know what I mean? Like,
The way you fight the thoughts is by having your mind set on, I'm a soldier. Everything that is trying to stop me from fulfilling my orders is of the enemy. It's from the other side. And if you can put yourself in a mindset, the first scripture we went to today was Exodus 15:3, where it says the Most High is a man of war. You understand? And I asked the brother, what do we call a man of war who leads other men into war? He said a general. So if the Most High is a general, we his children, then what did that make us? It makes us soldiers. Well, we soldiers, guess what? We have orders. The Bible is our orders. These laws, these statutes and commandments, they are what is required of us. Everything that tries to get us to go against that is of the enemy. It is of the other side. And if we good soldiers, what will we do? We'll never let our colors fly. We'll never tuck our tail. We'll never disobey our orders. We'll maintain our position. And that's what the nature of life is. It's a battle. So now, if you can understand that I'm a soldier and everything is war, everything that's coming against me, obeying the Father, everything that's coming against me, keeping these laws is someone shooting at me, well, then guess what? I got to remember my training. Now I got to shoot back. Now I got to put up the defenses. I got to, utilize the tactics in order to be able to avoid getting killed. You understand? So the way that you can put yourself in the mindset of a soldier, then everything that presents itself before you will be something you either are going to battle and overcome, or it's going to defeat you. You understand? So that's how you begin to fight, is by understanding that this is war. And because it's war and I'm a soldier, guess what? I know I got to train, I got to get strong so that I can win this battle. You understand? We went over the definition of the word enmity, right? It said the carnal mind is enmity with God. The definition of enmity is positive, active, and typically mutual hatred or ill will. Right? So what we see with that is that enmity isn't just a feeling or a thought, but enmity is active aggression. It's continuing and ongoing and growing. So the carnal mind isn't just, we're living in a time right now where there are people who are living contrary to the Most High, right? Their whole lifestyle goes against the Bible, right? Are they relaxed about their way of life being respected? Are they just, respect me, I respect you? Or are they aggressive? Are they, they battle hardened? You're going to respect it. You're going to see it. You're going to love it. Your little girl gonna go in the bathroom and see a grown man in the dress saying, hey, little girl. Right. And they aren't passive. They're aggressive. Well, that's enmity. The thing inside of you that wants you to sin, it's okay. You can do whatever you want to do. It's all right. You want to serve the Lord? That's cool. No, it's serve the man. Here's the hole right here. Right there. You somebody on drugs and you go to get off drugs. The day you say, yeah, man, I'm not smoking no more weed, here comes the guy with a quarter pound of free weed to smoke. Right. Of the greatest weed that you could never buy any other regular day. But the day you decide to quit, here comes somebody tempting you with the freedom that you are fighting against. That's this battle. That's enmity. That's the carnal mind. You understand? It ain't passive. Satan ain't just, oh, yeah, you don't want to sin anymore. Okay, cool. All right. This is the righteous phase of your life now. All right, brother. Hey, we had some good times together. It was fun. Hey, man, go be great. No, that's not Satan. Satan, you say, man, I'm tired of this. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to be righteous. Satan say, oh, yeah, nigga, all right. And he going to put the gun in your head and say, you going to do what? You leaving? Well, you ain't going nowhere. Go smoke that blunt. You see the hole right there? You're gay if you don't have. You're gay if you don't do it. You're gay, and then you feel like you got to have sex in this hole because she'll think I'm gay if I don't. You got to fight that. That's what you fighting. Satan ain't playing fair out here. He ain't, no. He Satan, he got those of us who he's conquered, and he ain't trying to let nobody go. You want to do what? You want to serve God. You disloyal, disrespect. That's how Satan feels. Satan feels like you disloyal ass nigga. You gonna serve God. You ain't serving no God, nigga. Satan is blood in, blood out. Satan is the gangster. Satan is, you gonna leave me after all these years? And Satan rough. Satan, I was there with you at 6. We got molested together. You ain't leaving me. You want to break them ties and them traumas that you had as a kid. Say, like, you ain't going nowhere. I'm your A1. We talk about your you're down since day one. Satan's, I think I'm day one with you. I've been there since the beginning. You ain't going nowhere. Satan is going to fight, man. He ain't letting you go. He not letting you leave. Guess what? You're gonna have to get strong and fight Satan. You got to get strong and fight against everything that has been fighting against you from the day that you entered into this world. And that is this battle. You understand? That's the carnal mind being in enmity with God. The carnal mind is F God. There's something in you that says, God said, what? Man, damn, man, I'm doing all that other stuff. And some of us have encountered those people. When you go to change your life and you go to serve the Lord, you would think that everybody who knew you and your wickedness would say, oh, man, you serving God, man. That's beautiful, brother. Oh, man, I'm so proud of you. You would think they would say, oh, you put no more pork on. God, praise Jesus. No, you go to serve God. The people who you thought loved God are going to hate you. You don't celebrate. Oh, this nigga, what you righteous? What you more righteous than us? You better than us, but you got pride in you, son. You did that. You like, damn. When I was out here selling drugs and having sex with hoes and lying and cheating, y'all love me. Now I want to give my life to God and do what God said to do. I'm showing you the Bible say we shouldn't celebrate Christmas, mama. You ain't my son. Not my Jesus. You like, damn, mama, what? That's enmity. That's enmity against God. This world is actively fighting against God. It ain't passive in it. This world ain't going to let you just go, let you just serve God. No, you're going to have to lose everything. You're going to have to sacrifice everything. And guess what? You're going to have to be willing to go through it if you're going to really be about what you say you're about. I'll tell you, man, one thing that'll prove whether you are who you say you are is trying to serve the Lord. If you know that God made me to be something special, he made me to be a soldier. He put something in me that doesn't allow me to be comfortable in this world, doesn't allow me to just continue to sin and live wickedly, doesn't allow me to be a hypocrite. Well, guess what? Nothing will test that more than trying to be in the truth. You're going to come in here, and the things you learn in here are going to be so amazing. They're going to change your life. But then what's coming along with it is the fiery trial. What's coming along with it is, oh, you like that, huh? The words felt good, didn't they? Okay, all right, we'll see how you are 2 days from now. When I send this thing to try you, and you're going to have to say to yourself, man, whatever coming down the road, I'm going to beat it. I'm going to conquer it because that's what the Lord made me to be. And now all those scriptures that we heard as Christians about, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We thought that was about getting a mortgage. We thought that was about finishing college. That ain't about finishing college. Getting no mortgage. That's about fighting Satan. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me is about not getting high. It's about not having sex with this whore. It's about not lying, not cheating, not stealing, not murdering. That's what that is about. Some brothers are killers. I'm talking about have murdered people. And they walking around this world like, I promised the Lord I would never kill again. Someone's going to smack them or step on their shoe or disrespect a woman out in public to where in their mind, I told God I wasn't killing nobody, and now I kill niggas for this. You're going to have to prove that you said you wasn't going to kill no more. Satan say, oh, you ain't killing no more? Okay, think about to violate you. Think about to violate you to where that natural instinct to just kill and murder, you're going to have to say, brother, I forgive you. That's this. That's this thing. That's serving the Lord. That's, the Lord going to test you, man. He ain't giving you nothing. And we have to understand that the reward is the kingdom of heaven. The reward is all the things you desire. You love beautiful women. We in 2021 in America, where all women have been reduced, they've diminished greatly in the natural light that the Lord made for them to shine in, right? You see women today and you say, oh man, she's beautiful. You have to understand that she's beautiful despite having low self-esteem, despite all the trauma she's been through, despite all the failed relationships, despite all the lack of trust that she had, despite all of the, being broken over and over again that she's experienced. You think she's still beautiful. Well, imagine what they'll be like in the kingdom of heaven. I would turn down a beautiful woman today for the thought of 10 of her in the kingdom of heaven. And in the kingdom of heaven, brother, they're going to be obedient. Oh, they're going to make sandwiches. I like to eat. I think about sandwiches. They're going to make sandwiches. They're going to massage you. I have one over here. I have one over there. I'll fly over this place and have another 2 or 3. I will forego the one now that is going to lie to me and sell me a dream. And hell, it's Memphis. She might set me up and get me robbed. I'm going to leave her alone for the thought that maybe the Lord will bless me with 10 of her in the kingdom. That's where your mind has to be. That's how you fight against fornication. You got to transform your mind. Everybody understand? Because the carnal mind is fighting against you. Your flesh is aggressive in getting you to sin. You have got to be as equally aggressive to not sin. Everybody understands? Let's get Romans chapter 12, verse 2, and that's going to be the last scripture on this subject, all right? Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Matter of fact, we're gonna get Romans chapter 12, verse 1. And like I said, a lot of times with these words of Paul, I like to slow walk it so we can really fully comprehend what we read. All right.
Read 1 and 2.
We're gonna read 1 and 2. I'm gonna read it. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. All right. I beseech you, therefore, brethren. Meaning what? I beg of you. I'm pleading with you, brothers. You understand? I beseech you, therefore. Meaning I'm pleading with you, brothers, right? By the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice. He's pleading, brothers, please present your bodies as a living sacrifice. How do you present your body as a living sacrifice? Anybody online got the answer? Y'all can type it in. How do you present your body as a living sacrifice? Sis.
By obeying.
Yes, by obeying. By obeying is the answer. But give me the sacrifice part. How does obeying make your body a sacrifice?
You die daily.
You're right. You die daily. That is another correct answer. But the person who's giving their body as a sacrifice, how do they feel about it? Do you wake up every day and just say, I'm going to obey? Yeah, man, I'm just obedient. Or is there nothing? Come on with it.
Joyfully.
Okay, you're right. But again, is joyfully doing it like, yeah, I'm going to obey. I'm going to obey. I'm going to be a sacrifice. I'm just going to give my life to God. What is in the mindset of the person who's presenting themselves as a sacrifice? Sis.
It's like a struggle. It's like, damn, like you really want to yourself. But I mean, it's a struggle.
Yeah, right. But I want you to. How does the person who's presenting themselves as a sacrifice do it? I'll tell you how. It's not my body. This is God's body. I can't smoke no weed. I can't put weed in my body, man. It's against the Lord. That pork smell good, man. I can't eat no pork, man. God said, nah. Sure, I would. Like, man, that woman got a man. I can't even look at Shawty, man. She having sex with somebody. She don't even exist to me. These eyes ain't for looking at another man's woman. That's how someone who's doing it, that's how they listen, man, it's God's body, man. I would never get no tattoos. Scripture say don't mark the flesh. I ain't smoke no weed, man. Nah, man. Listen, brothers, can you drink the tea? Can you put it in brownies? Man, I'm not even coming in no weed, man. I don't need it. I ain't got no ailments. I ain't got no muscle spasms or nothing like that. It's medicine. I don't need that medicine. I don't need no weed. The person who's presenting themselves as a sacrifice, they just say, this ain't my body, man. It's God's body. That's what it means to present yourself a sacrifice. Everybody understands? Paul is saying, brothers, I'm begging you, brothers, present yourselves as a sacrifice, right? Holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. It is the bare minimum for you to obey God. That is the least of what's required of you. You understand? Righteousness is the low bar. And I want everybody to understand that. Righteousness is what you're supposed to do. You don't get a pat on the back for being righteous. You don't get an attaboy for being righteous. Being righteous is, nigga, that's what you're supposed to do. Now, you can understand that. Then you say, well, if all I get is a pat on the back for obeying, well, then where's the kingdom coming? Where's the big stuff? There's a level beyond just obeying. There's a level beyond just righteousness. You understand? There are levels. And the bare minimum, the low bar, is obeying the Lord. Giving up Christmas is very low. Stop smoking weed is very low. Leaving them hoes alone is very low. You're supposed to not have sex with hoes. You don't get nobody gonna throw you a party. 30 years clean from whores. You don't get that. There's no ticket for, that don't exist. Everybody understands, right? When you start to do what you're supposed to do, that's reasonable. That's the reasonable request, is obey me. That's all God. I mean, damn. That's the least the Lord can ask for. He did give you life, and your heart pump blood and your lungs move oxygen through your body. The least you can do is obey. Everybody understands, right? That's what Paul is saying. A reasonable service is present yourselves a sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. Verse 2, and be not conformed to this world. What is this world? This society, this culture, this way of life. Don't be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. What do you have to do with your mind? You have to renew it. There's a way that you've been programmed, a way that you've been trained, but guess what you have to do? You got to renew your mind. And that's what this is about. This is about renewing your mind. You had one mindset about God. You had one way of thinking about Christ and salvation. Now you got to renew it. Now you're going to have a new way of thinking about God, a new way of thinking about Christ, a new way of thinking about obeying the Most High. And what will that do? That'll transform you. You understand? The transformation starts in your mind. It starts with how you think. It starts with your approach to righteousness. For so many years in this society, we've been taught that, we were waiting on God. Waiting on God. I'm praying, God, please, God, please. When you renew your mind, you realize that God is waiting on you. You waiting on God, when He been waiting on you to, how long do I gotta make you suffer for you realize that you ain't making me happy? All these trials and these tribulations and these things that we go through, it was the Lord trying to get our attention. The Most High trying to show us, I'm not pleased. Why you think the blessings ain't just pouring? Why you think it's so hard and things don't go your way? Because I'm not happy. We change our way of thinking. You understand? Instead of thinking that, be praying, asking God, please, I don't want to, free me from this thing. I don't want to fight Satan no more. Get these demons off of me. The Lord is like, when you going to fight? You're going to sit and pray all the time and cry about it? No, you got to do something. You got to go fight. The renewing of your mind is what transforms you to not be conformed to this world. Everybody understand? What is the purpose of this renewing your mind? What is the purpose of this cleaning yourself and having this new perspective? Reading on. So that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. You understand? You have to renew your mind and be transformed from what this world has programmed you to be so that you could prove what is the perfect, good, and acceptable will of God. Now, what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God for us?
The law.
You're right. Raise your hand. The law. Give me a little bit more on that. How is the law the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God?
Laws, statutes, and commandments that dictate how you live your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in accordance to you towards God,
Mm-hmm.
you towards your fellow man, you towards your family, and everything else.
Okay. So what happens if you? So right now we're disobeying that, right?
Right.
We're not following the law. What is the good, acceptable, and okay? So what are we experiencing? If obeying God will have us to experience the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God, what are we experiencing? Seeing as though we're not obeying Him, that we're not doing what we're supposed to do.
Sin.
No, that's why I asked the question, right? You said sin. What does sin bring us?
Death.
Brings us death. But the law says, what about sinners? That they should die, right? So if sinners die, that is the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. God's law says sinners should die. Sinners are dying. That's the will of God, right?
Right.
So if obeying the law has us to fulfill the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God, and disobeying the law has us to fulfill the perfect, acceptable, and the perfect, just so I can prove the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God, then we gotta, the answer has to go a little bit beyond the law, right? Because remember, righteousness is the bare minimum. Righteousness is the low bar, right? So once we become righteous, once we serve the Lord, what's left? What's next? What else is there to do? And that gets us to the answer. You understand? The good, acceptable, and perfect will of God is not just that we be righteous, but it's that we create a righteous world, a righteous community, the Most High requires a nation of righteous brothers and sisters, right? But we can't have a nation of righteous brothers and sisters unless each of us presents ourselves a sacrifice. So it starts individually with me becoming righteous. But then once I become righteous, I extend that to my brother. I extend that to my sister. I make sacrifices in my life to teach brothers, to teach sisters, to be available, to help, to be a pillar in my community. And now one man who was righteous has now won over two brothers, now won over a couple sisters. And now these sisters, they can win over their husbands. These brothers can win over their brothers, and win over their wives, and win over other people. And before you know it, we've gone from 3 righteous brothers and sisters to a community of righteous brothers and sisters, a neighborhood of righteous brothers and sisters, a town, a city, a state, a nation. That is the good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. Remember, we are being transformed in our mind. I mean, we are being not conformed to this world, right? We're not being conformed to this world because the goal is to create a world that is against the world that we were raised into. Everybody understands? I didn't go too too big on you, right? That is the end goal of this, is to create a world where we're all righteous. But it starts with you presenting yourself a sacrifice, me presenting myself, and sister doing it. And we raise our kids and raise our families and people we come in contact with. Before you know it, we'll have a righteous world. But we cannot have that righteous world if it doesn't start with every brother and sister being transformed and being renewed in their mind. Everybody understands? And so that's what this is all about. It's about fighting that war, fighting that battle against Satan that takes place in your mind. If you want to overcome the demons, if you want to overcome the struggles and the obstacles that are in your way, you got to change the way that you think about life. You understand? And it's not something that happens overnight, but Lord allow, this lesson will go a long way to helping brothers and sisters understand that life is war. And whether you choose to fight or not, the enemy is going to always be fighting against you. So if you're going to be in a battle no matter what, you might as well battle for the kingdom. Don't battle and lose and settle for temporary satisfaction and settle for the feelings of failure. Actually train and battle. Lace up your boots and fight and win. Trust me, brother, you can win in this fight. The things Satan is bringing against you, you can overcome. You can defeat it. And when I tell you, brother, that there are few things in life that are as pleasant as knowing that I please the Most High. Women is one of them. You got you a good woman. Ooh-wee. It's almost on the level of conquering Satan. Conquering Satan to make you want to go conquer a woman. I'm trying to tell you. In the right way. But that's it. It's one of those things where once you taste it, oh, you want more. You conquer Satan. I remember when I started smoking weed. Oh man, I could do anything. I ain't smoking weed no more. I can live in my thoughts and actually deal with my problems and handle all of my issues. Man, it was such a breath of fresh air. You understand? Then you graduate from that thing to the conquering this other thing that you struggle with. You overcome that and you conquer that. You're like, man, can't nothing hold me back. But the more your spirit grows, the bigger your obstacles become. The more your spirit grows, the more you level up with the Lord, the bigger your problems become. The bigger the obstacles become. But you get to a point where if you are a brother or a sister who is in a community of brothers and sisters, you recognize that no battle you fight is alone. That no situation that you're in is a situation that only you know about. You understand? The point of the Bible is to prove to us that nothing you going through is new. You thought you were special, you was unique. No, you're not. Look at all these people for thousands of years. We think because of 2021, you can go on your phone and swipe left, swipe right on women that, oh man, it's hard to find a good woman. What you think David went through? What you think Solomon went through? It was hard to find good women back then. And back then it wasn't, you had to go out there and find them. Traverse from city to city on boat and on camelback to find a woman. It was just as hard then as it is now. The difference is the mindset. If your mindset is right, if your approach is right, then it makes things in this world a whole lot easier to navigate. Everybody understand? And with that, we up on the time. Any last questions before we close out the class? All right, Most High Christ. Clap it up, man. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. We got rules for new brothers and sisters, man. When a brother and sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. So what that means is when brothers and sisters first come into the school, we give them an opportunity to just remain in isolation. Give them an opportunity to learn the truth and digest this information. So there's no outside fraternization. You understand? You a new brother in school. The only contact we're going to have is, shalom, brother. You come to class. You got any questions? You got any issues? You need some counsel? No talking to the sisters. You see a sister, shalom, says, how you doing? And that's it. Lord allow, as the school grows, there'll be sisters coming in here. It'll be shalom, says how you doing, and that's it. Ain't no you need a ride or what sort of city you stay in. None of that. Why? Because we want to allow everybody to have an opportunity to just go through their personal things and working out, coming into the truth. Everybody understands. All right. After 6 months, brother or sister get their Hebrew name. They become fully engulfed in this lifestyle. If there's an attraction, a brother interested in the sister, or a sister interested in the brother, seek permission from the heads to court. That's agreed upon. Have a courtship, and we'll go into how that goes. All right. We've got upcoming holy convocations. I can't think of when the next high holy day is. So I'll get the calendar for that. We do have events going up all across the country. We got the New York barbecue coming up this weekend in Harlem, New York. Next month, I believe they're going to be in Houston in September. October, we got an event coming up in I believe Vegas. November is Vegas. December is Florida. We'll get the calendar for all of that. But for brothers want to be troopers in the school, let me not forget this. Tithes, which is a commandment, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you should come into the school. You understand? Your money does not go towards brothers, riding in Rolls Royces or anybody flying in the jet. The money that you pay, your tithes, goes to the work of the Lord. It goes to provide for the priests, make sure that we have these buildings, make sure we have transportation when we go out to teach, things like that. So pay your tithes. With that, any brothers want to be troopers in the school, start wearing all black shirt, black boots, black pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, since we ran over a little bit on the time, we're just going to send up the Lord's Prayer, all right? So at the end of class, we're going to say Amajim, which means to stand. Wapunya Hakwadam, which means turn and face the east, which is this direction. And we're going to send up the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew first. As the scripture says, anything other than an unknown tongue must be spoken in the known tongues. We're going to read the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, then we'll read it in English, all right? All right. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Thaba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Latananawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalaklanawa, Kababwaf now, Kasalak now, Kababwaf now, Wala'ah, Tabayan now, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai now, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahafapa'ara, La'ayawalamin, Aman. No swear, we're going to get it. All right, this is the Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right, Saul, which means to turn. We'll get a brotherly courtesy salute at the end of class, all right? You go to men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat. Amajim Shabbat, you just step with your right foot, hands behind your back. Amajim, which means to stand and come together. Barak, which is to start the salute. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, Shah, Barak, Atham. Repeat after me. Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh, Shah, Barak, Atham. And that means the Most High, in the name of Christ, bless you. All right? Yajamatah, hands down. Sar, we're going to turn and face the sisters. And we get the sisters a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh, Shema, Alathan, Bahashim, Yahweh, Shah. You got it, sis. Brother. All right. It's Yahweh. Yeah. Shamar. Al-Athah. Bahashim. Yahweh Shah. What that is No sweat. But that is the Most High watch over you in the name of Yahweh Shai. All right, Yachim Matar, hands down, class dismissed. All right.